Good morning,
Groovy. Here
humans.
we are. We are live, fantabulous for a Thursday evening. How are you, lads?
My leg hurts.
Very well.
Neat.
Very well.
Exciting all around, I see. Very good. Well, let's get straight into some exciting news as far as Dan will be concerned. The PS4 Slim leaked. Apparently, it's legit. Dan, I'll pass it over to you on your thoughts, and then I will let you know mine.
Well, yeah, it's exciting to an extent. It's still one of those things where I still don't think I'll buy it
Mm.
because why do I need to? But I don't think this is for me. This is for people that are late to a generation, which always happens. I think it's for people that you know, they've been trying to find a reason, and I think when they properly announce this in a couple of weeks, it'll be interesting to see what the price point is, and that might be the reason why they want to.
So the people that aren't one of the 45 million people that don't have one yet, here's a new one to get.
Yeah, well, if you
Yeah.
combine that by PlayStation 3 sold like 88 million copies, so
Yeah. True.
um, so you've got that, and also it'll be cheaper because PlayStation 4 is like the first Sony console, I think, that when they started selling them, they were selling them at a profit.
At a
Like
profit.
even when PlayStation 3 was bloody, over here it was like $800 or $900 when it first came out.
Insanity.
They were still making a loss on that console. Whereas this they've been selling for a profit. And I think now that they can get, they can make them for cheaper, they can also afford to sell them cheaper. And this is obviously going to impact a lot on how they're going to tell everyone about Neo.
Right. Well, so Scott, you don't have a PlayStation. You're a Nintendo man.
No, I've never been too terribly much. Actually, I do have a PlayStation 2 right here with me, but I borrowed it from a friend so I could play Ratchet and Clank and Spyro.
That's the good stuff. So what do you reckon
Yeah.
about this one? Does this entice you at all?
Well, not particularly, but that's just because there's nothing on the PlayStation 4 that I know of that I really want. I mean,
Except for Ratchet and
maybe.
Clank and Spyro.
Well, I mean, I'd be down for
Shots
I'd be down
fired.
for the if I would have a PlayStation 4, but for any reason, then I'd be down for that for the new Ratchet and Clank game that came out a while back, as well as the previously announced Crash Bandicoot remasters.
Yeah, that'd be
Because because like much like the others, even though I never played them. Well, actually, I played them at a friend's house. Crash Bandicoot, I played at a friend's house, and like, I'd be down for like playing them again, just because they do look like my kind of game.
Right.
Um, that being said, in regards to the Slim, well, I don't know. I guess is it cheaper?
Well, we
Well,
don't know yet.
and that's the thing. Like this leak is all good to know it's real, but it's like we don't know anything really about it.
What was the source of the leak?
Oh,
Someone got literally got it early, I think, from it was bloody like a classifieds or something. But it means that they're shipping them out to
yeah,
places
they're obviously out in the
to
wild
sell them.
somewhere in storage at some place, and some smart asses decided to be hilarious and unbox it before Sony can. But just to give some perspective on this, as someone who doesn't own a PS4 either, but I have invested in the Xbox One S, the Gears of War 4 edition when it comes out. I traded in my Xbox One towards it, so I'm without one at the moment, which is fine. I could do with a lull period. There's nothing really out for me at the moment anyway, so um, I didn't need the Xbox One S. Really, the only thing that pushed me over was because it was a Gears of War 4 theme. Um, for some perspective on that, like Dan yourself or anyone who already has a PS4, do you think it's enough, depending on the price point, that people might consider trading up for the new Slim model, like on just aesthetics on its own? Like to me, I think it looks like a bit like a hot plate or a like a little weight scale thing. I
Yeah,
don't particularly
it's literally a
like the
mini.
look of it.
It's a,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
mini. And I
Essentially,
think
yeah, like a mini PS4. But like I'm just saying, like aesthetics as far as like you might say, it just sits on the shelf. It doesn't really matter what it looks like. It just plays games. But like to some people, it does matter because it becomes a centerpiece of your land room in your gaming and entertainment environment. I, for one, take it on board when I'm buying something. It's just how it is. It's marketing. It's consumer appeal and whatnot.
Yeah.
But does any of that factor into for you, Dan? Like, would you consider trading in what you have already and getting the Slim?
Yeah. So here's the thing: other people need to remember. So, like, for instance, the difference between like the Xbox One S and Xbox One compared to this situation is that in the Xbox One S, they actually put things in it to slightly upgrade the console. So it has the 4K stuff, blah blah blah. This is not the same. Similar, but not the same, because it's basically what they always do for every console generation, where it's essentially the same in innards, but because it's essentially 4 years after they started making the box, everything's smaller, everything's cheaper, and then it's literally a Slim.
Yeah,
so there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also read today that there's no optical port on it.
Oh,
so
okay.
they've taken that off. You'd imagine that they have some type of data as to, the people that need that optical port are probably people that are day one purchases.
Well, they'll probably just buy the Neo when it comes out anyway, because that'll still have it. Yeah.
I'm just reading the guy's Twitter, the Shortman82, who has been filing this stuff out. He's saying, having read the manual, it seems like there is a 500 gigabyte and a 1 terabyte model Slim. He's gone onto the controller. There's apparently a slightly updated controller, and he's testing out the battery, which he's still got 1 bar left after 7 hours.
There's an extra light feature on the
minutes.
controller too, from what I read. Like there's they cut away part of the trackpad so the light can come through on top of the trackpad. So when you look down, you can see like some blue light, not just on the front of the controller.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering
for those that don't really follow the Sony side of it, basically the controller, the light in a lot of games will change depending on what's happening in the game. So if you're getting hit, it will change to red and stuff like that. But the way it is at the moment, you can't even see the light because it's on the other side of the controller.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, sure, I don't really care about that, but fine.
Well, we know that light was to be used with the PlayStation Eye that was supposed to be bundled with it or whatever when it came out, but at the last minute it was dropped.
They couldn't tell anybody that because
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it's good that it's real, but we don't, because there's no price and we don't know what in terms of the Neo what's happening.
So how much is a PS4 in Australia at the moment?
Ask another question while I look it up.
Pretty sure it's like 350 or something like that. I'm pretty positive. I mean, that's pretty standard. Or like if you get a bundle, it's 380 or 400 somewhere. So you'd have to imagine it would be maybe if slightly cheaper than what it is now, especially when the Neo is just around the corner. If it actually comes out this year.
It's about 380 for the 500 gigabyte.
Yeah.
So you imagine that'll get a price drop. And I wonder if they're even going to sell those older models.
They'll probably discount the shit out of them like they are with the original Xbox One.
Until we know more information, you can't get that excited or that, hated about it.
No. It's just the thing, like, we all know that it was going to happen, because it always happens. But it's like, I guess people are comparing it besides the Xbox One S, because it has some extra functionality to warrant an upgrade in some regard. If you didn't want to get too much out of pocket, like me, I just traded in my console, and I'm almost walking out the door with it, and it's worth it to me. I don't know. Well, as you say, we'll have to see what happens. But well, that's enough about the PS4 news. We'll go into some slightly more humorous Xbox news. I've been looking around for a onesie, an adult-sized onesie, for a long time. And I've been debating whether I get a Superman onesie or a Green Lantern onesie, but now they've revealed an Xbox onesie. It's not available to the public yet, but I'm quite sold. I want one now.
That
if
is
if anyone's watching, tell me where to buy one, and they can have my money. Do you find it interesting? Will you buy one? Dan, you being a PlayStation man, would you be worthy of sitting on a couch in an Xbox One playing a PlayStation?
I would actually consider it. However, I don't generally wear onesies because I get too hot in them. But it'd be great if it had the Xbox logo on the onesie, and then it just had also available on Windows 10.
Yeah, that's good. How about you, Scott?
Good on him.
well, when it comes to wearing a onesie whilst playing Nintendo, I didn't see a problem with it. I have drunk Pepsi out of a Coca-Cola glass before, and I managed to do it without destroying the universe.
Jeez, you're all trouble, mate. Look out.
Yeah, I mix things.
I don't like to get
diversity. It's evil.
I don't like to get involved with people that are as much trouble as you are.
I mean, but then again, I've never been into onesies before. I mean, I know they exist, but I've never really seen a strong appeal for wearing them. But then again,
nobody has to know.
Yeah, usually if I'm cold, I just grab a doona. But
I
haven't. That being said, I haven't been that cold lately because we actually have heaters in our house, so I don't have a need for a onesie though.
Well, it's one less redundant purchase for you then.
But I would almost buy it just for its pun, the Xbox Onesie.
Yeah, man.
Like
awesome.
when I first saw the name, I was like, round of applause. That was really good.
I can see people on Instagram and gamers on YouTube and stuff like that that have some kind of prolific involvement in the culture or the pop culture scene and whatnot, and they're getting them. Like Hex from Good Game Australia just posted she's wearing her personalised one in a photo on Instagram, and I was like, "You bitch, I love you. Give it to me now." And I was like, "Shit, where do you get one? Like, what stage do you have to? Or whose dick do I have to suck to get one? Basically, like, I want one." So just Xbox, if you're listening, send someone around and I'll do the deed and give me one.
Send one to Chunt.
Yeah.
Chunt Xbox Onesie.
Yeah, man. I would have no problems wearing it. It just looks too cool, but I don't know. I mean, it's hot up in Rockhampton, but I'd just put the air conditioner on and wear it in spite of it.
That's right. A hot January day. What do I do? Put on the air conditioning and put on my Xbox
and put on
onesie.
A onesie. Yeah, why not? It's all good. Power bill only comes around every 3 months. I'll worry about it then. Right. Shit, I forgot about that. What's the last topic? Oh, yes, there was another reveal. We'll move on to that straight up. Dan, this will be a lot of involvement from you, I would assume. The Last of Us 2 apparently has been revealed, announced, or / confirmed. I enjoyed the story of it. I watched a friend of mine play through it. I didn't play it myself, but the story alone was worth a watch. So I'm pretty keen to see what they're going to do with it. As a fan of the game series yourself, what are your feelings?
Yeah, so this was sort of confirmed by one of their people from Naughty Dog, where he accidentally referred to as he was talking about the Uncharted series, and he said the first Last of Us game, and he goes, "Oh, did I just say that?" So it's essentially just confirming there's a second.
Oh dear.
So there's a couple of things I believe about the report that came out with it, and some things I don't. One of the things is that they're looking at possibly an early 2017 release date.
Oh wow!
I don't believe that can be.
No,
possible.
I mean that's right around the corner.
So yeah, for people that don't know, Naughty Dog went back in the day, split off into two teams when Uncharted 2 was finishing. And a team went on to Uncharted 3, and another team went on and made The Last of Us. And then what happened after The Last of Us, they sent off a separate little group to remaster The Last of Us and put it on PlayStation 4, while everyone else went and worked on Uncharted 4. Because apparently having two teams would just really killed them. Like it was a lot of work, and they all came back together. Considering Uncharted 4 just came out, I do not know, even if they had a small team working on a Last of Us sequel, I do not know how they could possibly get there.
That's too soon, man.
I can see them at PSX at the end of the year announcing Last of Us 2 and having a little gameplay thing, but it's not coming out until 2018.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree. I mean, the quality and pedigree that they've earned over the years of their games and experiences that they release. I mean, there's a lot of effort and work, and I don't know how they put together what they do and how they make it look as good as it does compared to everybody else on that console. So yeah, the fact that, as you said, Uncharted 4 has only just come out, and to say that it's just around the corner, I think that's a bit of a stretch. But look, I'll look forward to it. I'm sure I'll hang out with my mates and watch the story again. Like I don't intend on buying a PlayStation 4 anytime soon just to play that game series at all. But I understand the hype and the fan base behind it's strong. So hopefully for the people that want the game, it's not too soon, but not too long that it's out of reach for people. But Scott, yourself, I mean, obviously, I mean, you don't have a PS3 or PS4 like me. Are you familiar with the franchise at all? Like, is it
I've
something
heard
that
of
you're
them.
aware of?
I've heard of them, but no, I'm not. I'm not a big. I'm not very much of The Last of Us, I'm afraid. But I mean, hooray for the people who like it, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you can't go wrong
Hey,
with that.
enjoy
Yeah.
your game.
Oh, exactly right.
And I think another thing with that too is that at E3
Your
they
camera
released
went.
that trailer for that Days Gone game, the Sony Ben game with the motorcycles with the zombie.
Yep.
I don't know why you'd have that type of game and a Last of Us come out possibly in the same year.
Yeah, that'd be
Like being
stupid.
these zombie first-person action, like it doesn't seem very good
No,
strategy by Sony. So I don't see why you would do that.
too many zombies.
Yeah, I'd love to play as Ellie. That's all I'll say. That'd be great to.
Well, when do you
start
think
the
it's
game off
set?
with that.
Like, how far after the first one do you think it is? Like 5-8 years or something, or?
Well, that report said that it would start shortly after the last game.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I would kind of like it if Ellie was a little bit older and she could actually, because spoilers for The Last of Us, in a section in the game you actually play as Ellie as a young girl, but realistically as a young girl she can't really fight anyone. It's more about sneaking and avoiding people
Yeah.
because she can't really do much, which works really great in terms of being suspenseful. But it'd be cool if she was a little bit older and then she could actually start getting the hand up on people.
Getting all Lara Croft.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but zombies and not through dungeons and temples.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll hear anything about it till PSX.
Yeah. Nah, man. I mean, judging by the quality of the stuff they do at Naughty Dog, I mean, God, you just know it's going to be some form of gold in some degree. So I'm keen to see it, just as an observer myself. I'll experience it in some regard somewhere. But yeah, so I guess we don't have much more to talk about on that topic, seeing as no one else really knows about it. So we'll probably just wrap it up here, keep it short and sweet. So as usual, I'll ask what you lads have been playing of late, if anything. Dan?
Alright, well, for the normal 2K session, I played Rebel Galaxy on PlayStation 4, which was this month's like PlayStation Plus game. Like I recommended it. It's basically if anyone knows Firefly, it feels very Firefly, where you have your ship, you wander the galaxy and you mine for stuff and smuggle stuff, and it's very cool. And then I also plugged in my PlayStation 3 and played some Fight Night because I watched Creed earlier this week.
Oh, awesome. Very
Yeah.
good. Good call. How about you, Scott?
Mario and Luigi Paper Jam Bros. I finally got
yeah.
myself back into that game, and oh my goodness, it is so crap.
Oh, geez, the build up there. I thought it was going to be something good.
No, this game is rubbish.
Oh, that sucks.
There's so much bad stuff. Like the only thing good about it is probably like the cleverness. Probably some of the clever writing in it. That's probably it. And like as a result, some of the characters are a little bit quirky. This is kind of like the first game where Peach, although she got kidnapped by Bowser, she actually got out on her own. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
go.
and like
Female male, yeah.
it is like the Disney princess of Mario games.
Wow. Oh, that's different. I mean, it's a good
Well,
take, I guess. There has
yeah.
been a Princess Peach Adventures type game before, like
There have been Super
yeah,
Princess
so-
Peach.
It's not out of the ordinary at all. But as for myself, I have my 360 hooked up still because I am sans Xbox One. So I've been actually playing a bit of Injustice since all the announcements for the next one is coming out. I played the absolute shit out of that game when it came out, and just good to test put my toe back in the water again in that game. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, just basically just playing through some old titles myself. I intend to go through Gears 1, 2, and 3 before Gears 4 comes out. It's just to get my my Gears skills back up to scratch before I jump in the multiplayer and whatnot. So October 7th, bring it on, Mother Fluzzers indeed, post EB Expo. That'll be exciting. So yes, I guess yeah, man, legit indeed. So I guess we'll just
it's just a bad habit I say. Like when I say legit, it actually means like, oh, that's great. Like,
yeah, I know.
Even though that's totally not what the word legit actually means.
Yeah, I got the inference. It's all good.
Okay. At least you do.
Yeah, that's all good. I'm pretty cluey, despite what some people might say. But yeah.
What? You're smart?
Yeah, I know, right? Fucking
what?
figures. Oh. Yeah, righto. So we'll wrap that one up. So that was episode 24. A lot of fun. I had a lot of laughs. I needed it today. It was fantastic. I appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah, beautiful.
I wrapped an invisible present because we have to wrap it up.
Oh, invisible.
Wow.
Hey, look, we've already had the Xbox
Onesie
Onesie pun today. I'm pretty sure we're good for more.
Oh, fucking hell, gee whiz. Send it through on Wonder Woman's invisible plane, thanks. That'd be great. And
No worries.
Make
I
sure
haven't
she comes
mailed.
with. Righto, fantabs. Well, yeah, so we'll just end it on that one, and I'll expect my invisible present momentarily. Toodaloos, lads.
Yes. See ya.